here's my render. We can take a look at the body. It's illuminated too much. The background came in as normally. Now, a background was already rendered before, so when I did a area render, it simply rendered over it. So we're seeing exactly what we told it to do. Let's go to our preview tab. This automatically jumped us to render once we've done it. So let's go to click to preview, and we're seeing our character, and I'm going to adjust my light source so it's coming more from the extreme side. I'm going to select this one behind, and I'm going to reduce the intensity of the lighting. I haven't added IBL lighting in there just yet. I'm just making adjustments to try to match this to exactly the way this particular scene is lit. The sunlight's coming up. It's probably right about at this angle. Looking at the shadows on the rock, we look at the angle of this shadow here, coming off of this little piece of the stone that's coming out of the concrete, that's basically coming out of the ground, and adjusting it right about there. So I'm going to do one more render just to get an idea how close I am to the actual lighting in the scene. I'm looking at the wall here where it's going to bounce lighting, and that's what this one is for. If I click on this light source here, I'm bringing down the intensity so it's not as bright, and so I bring it up higher, you can see it right along the edge here. In fact, if we don't want to mess with our main camera, how about if we go on over to the pose camera? Alright, this way we can get in a little bit closer. Let's go ahead and pull this, kind of move in close, and move in down. Alright, now keep in mind, although the background doesn't move, we're just moving the posing camera. If we go back to our main camera, everything is set up the way that we had originally. This is the camera we're going to actually do the render from. The actual pose camera is what we're going to use to basically help us to see what's going on in the lighting here. So if I go to my light source on the left hand side, I can move it around. Let's keep it where it was. Bring it around. There we are, right about there, illuminating the side of her face. We don't want it as strong. We just want just a slight to represent a fill light that's going to match this wall here. Let's match the color of the wall as the light is bouncing. Select my color picker and go actually click on the color of the wall. Done. It's going to be a lot more accurate. Now let's go back to our main camera view, or don't forget your shortcuts now. Control or Command M. Okay, that brings us right back. I'm going to hit Control S to save my scene. If anything happens, this way everything is going to, I can go back and get it without having to reset everything back up again. And how about if we hit a render, which is Command or Control R for render. Okay, still a little bit harsh, but let's not worry about it because we're going to associate it with this light source, IBL lighting. Let's see the effects of that. Let's go over to the Materials Lab. Let's make sure this light source is selected. We know it is because it's currently selected here as a node. Right over here we had cascaded this drawer. Let's go ahead and pull it out. Let's hit the IBL, and you're going to get another node that's going to pop up automatically. Our texture manager has just jumped. It's going to ask us what texture to choose. Let's go browse, and I believe we had Rhyolite number 2. Double click on it. It's listed here. Let's click OK. Ambient occlusion, yes, let's go ahead and include that as well. Ambient occlusion is basically taking shadow areas within the character that is the result of light falling on the character. It's going to render those a little bit richer, so it gives it a little more snap to the character. Now the eye is turned off. Let's turn on the eye so that we can see the actual image that's going to be rendered or going to be utilized for the IBL lighting. I have another little one here. Let's go ahead and select it and turn it off. Let's cascade this drawer. Let's bring it over to the side, and it's going to utilize all the values, all the color to light this scene. So how about we go back to pose and let's do another render, Command or Control R.